everyone, Sarah here. Rewind Justice brings you revenge stories that will blow your mind. If you're ready, hit subscribe and let's go.
You'll never own real estate like this, my sister announced at the inheritance meeting. These 8 Florida rentals are mine. Nodded. She earned them. I smiled. Dad, should I show them Grandma's 2019 quitclaim deeds? His fork dropped. My sister screamed, "What deeds?" The conference room at Morrison & Associates fell silent. My sister Jennifer stood frozen at the head of the table, her manicured hand still pointing at the property spreadsheet she'd been presenting for the last 20 minutes. The inheritance meeting she'd called without consulting me was about to take a very different turn than she'd planned. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up. Growing up, our family roles were crystal clear. Jennifer was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, the favorite, the success story Mom and Dad loved to brag about at every opportunity. I was there. Present but not particularly valued. The quiet one. The one they forgot to mention when friends asked about their children. Jennifer just closed another major deal, Mom would say at Sunday dinners. She's managing 8 rental properties now. Can you believe it? She's so talented with real estate. Jennifer would smile modestly, accepting the praise as her due. It's all about understanding the market, Mom. Knowing when to buy, how to renovate, finding the right tenants. It takes skill. Dad would nod approvingly. That's my girl. Building real wealth, not like these young people today wasting money on. He'd glance at me. Well, whatever it is they wasted on. I worked as a graphic designer for a small marketing firm. Decent job, decent pay, nothing spectacular. At least that's what they thought. I never corrected them. There was no point. Maya, when are you going to get serious about your future? Mom asked me one Thanksgiving. You're 32. No property, no investments. Your sister owns 8 properties. 8. I know, Mom. You should ask Jennifer for advice. Maybe she could help you get started. Jennifer smiled sweetly. I'd be happy to mentor you, Maya. Though real estate isn't for everyone. It takes a certain business sense. The implication was clear. I didn't have it. What they didn't know was that I'd been watching. Bernie. And most importantly, I'd been the one person who actually spent time with Grandma Rose before she passed away. Grandma Rose was different from the rest of the family. Sharp as a tack even in her 80s, she saw through the family dynamics with crystal clarity. They don't appreciate you, she told me one afternoon in 2018, sitting in her sunroom overlooking the Tampa Bay. Your mother especially. Always fawning over Jennifer. It's okay, Grandma. I'm used to it. That doesn't make it right. She studied me carefully. You know those properties Jennifer claims to manage? The rental houses? I bought those in the 1990s. 8 houses across Clearwater, St. Petersburg, and Tampa. Your grandfather and I worked hard for them. Jennifer doesn't manage them. She inherited the job when I got too old to handle the day-to-day. Grandma's eyes narrowed. But I've been watching the accounts. Something's not adding up. I leaned forward. What do you mean? The rent money. It's not all making it to my account. I confronted her last month, asked to see the books. She got defensive. Said I was confused, that my memory was going. Grandma's voice hardened. My memory is fine. And I know theft when I see it. Over the next few months, Grandma shared more concerns. Missing maintenance receipts. Tenants who claimed they'd paid rent that never appeared in the accounts. Cash deposits that were smaller than they should be. I want you to have them, Grandma said one evening in March 2019. The properties. All 8 of them. I stared at her. Grandma, I can't. You can and you will. I've already spoken to my attorney. We're doing quitclaim deeds, direct transfers from me to you. Completely legal. They'll be recorded with the county. She grabbed my hand. Your sister has been stealing from me, Maya. I know it. I can feel it. But if I confront her now, she'll just deny it and turn your parents against me. They'd believe her over you? She's the golden child. She can do no wrong, remember? Grandma smiled sadly. But you've always been honest. Kind. You visited me every week even when no one else did. You listened to my stories. You cared. I love you, Grandma. I love you too, sweetheart. And I want you protected. These properties are worth about $4 million total. The rental income is substantial. around $22,000 per month combined. That's your future security. Your inheritance. Not hers. The deeds were signed and recorded in April 2019. Grandma Rose passed away peacefully that September, surrounded by family. At her funeral, Jennifer cried dramatically about how she'd miss managing Grandma's legacy. I said nothing. After Grandma's death, Jennifer's management of the properties continued. Except now she wasn't just skimming rent money, she was taking everything. She told Mom and Dad that Grandma had verbally promised her the properties, for all her hard work managing them. She showed them property tax statements with her name on them as the manager of record. She presented renovation receipts and tenant agreements. It was all very convincing. To them. What Jennifer didn't know was that I'd quietly taken over the actual ownership. The properties were legally mine. The deeds were recorded. I was receiving the real financial statements directly from the property management company Grandma had used. A company Jennifer thought she'd replaced but which was still the legal manager of record. I watched as Jennifer collected rent money from tenants, deposited it in accounts she controlled, and used it to fund her lifestyle. Designer clothes. Luxury vacations. A new BMW. Your sister is doing so well, Mom gushed at Christmas 2019. Real estate is really paying off for her. I smiled and nodded. Meanwhile, I was building something else. Using the legitimate rental income from my properties, the $22,000 per month that was actually mine, I'd started investing. Index funds. Municipal bonds. A diversified portfolio that grew steadily and quietly. I also hired a forensic accountant. Not to confront Jennifer, not yet, but to document everything. Every dollar she stole. Every fake receipt she created. Every lie she told tenants about where their rent was going. The forensic accountant, Marcus Webb, was thorough. Miss Chin, your sister has embezzled approximately $380,000 over the past 4 years, he told me in early 2023. She's been collecting rent from all 8 properties, claiming various expenses that don't exist and pocketing the difference. She's also been taking cash payments from tenants and not reporting them at all. Can you prove it? I have bank statements, deposit records, tenant testimonies, and a complete paper trail. This isn't gray area accounting. This is criminal fraud. I filed the report away. Waited. Watched. Dad called me in January 2024. Maya, we need to have a family meeting about Grandma's estate. There are some loose ends to tie up. Grandma died 4 years ago, Dad. I know, but Jennifer's been handling the properties and we need to make everything official. She's suggesting we transfer full ownership to her name, clean up the paperwork. Your mother and I agree it makes sense. Does it? Jennifer's put in the work. She's earned it. We're meeting at Morrison & Associates next Tuesday at 2 p.m. The estate attorney will be there to draw up the transfer documents. I almost laughed. I'll be there. The meeting was exactly what I expected. Jennifer arrived in a designer suit, carrying a leather portfolio that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Mom and Dad were already seated looking proud. The estate attorney, Gerald Morrison, sat at the head of the table with various documents spread in front of him. Thank you all for coming, Gerald began. We're here to finalize the transfer of Rose Chen's 8 rental properties currently under Jennifer Chen's management to her full ownership. The family has agreed this is appropriate given her years of service managing these properties. Jennifer smiled graciously. I just want to honor Grandma's legacy. She trusted me with these properties and I've worked hard to maintain them. I think it's time to make it official. Mom reached over and squeezed Jennifer's hand. You've done wonderful, honey. Dad nodded. Rose would be proud. Gerald looked at me. Maya, as Rose's other grandchild, we need your signature acknowledging you have no claim to these properties. It's a formality but necessary for the transfer. I set down my coffee cup carefully. Before I sign anything, I have a question. Of course, Gerald said. I looked at Jennifer. These 8 properties, the ones on Clearwater Avenue, the duplex on Central, the 3 houses in St. Petersburg, the townhomes in Tampa, you're claiming Grandma intended for you to own them? Yes. Jennifer's voice was firm. I managed them for years. She promised them to me. And you've been collecting the rent? All of it. Obviously. I use it for maintenance, property taxes, improvements. That's what a property manager does, Maya. You wouldn't understand, you've never owned real estate. There was the dismissive tone, the casual cruelty wrapped in a smile. Mom chimed in. Jennifer handles it all beautifully. The properties are worth over $4 million now. She's increased their value significantly. I see. I pulled out my phone, opening the folder I'd prepared months ago. Dad, before we continue, can I show you something? Dad frowned. Maya, we're in the middle of legal proceedings. This is relevant. I promise. I turned my phone toward him, showing the first document. This is a quitclaim deed dated April 15, 2019. Recorded with Pinellas County. It shows Grandma Rose transferring full ownership of 2847 Clearwater Avenue from herself to Maine. The room went silent. Dad leaned forward, squinting at the screen. What? I swiped to the next document. Here's the deed for the duplex on Central. Also transferred to me same date. Recorded legal official. Jennifer's face had gone pale. That's impossible. Here are the other 6. I scrolled through them methodically. All 8 properties. Transferred from Rose Chin to Maya Chin on April 15, 2019. 6 months before Grandma died. I looked at Gerald Morrison. These are recorded with the county. They're public record. Would you like to verify them? Gerald was already typing on his laptop. His expression changed as he pulled up the county records. These are legitimate. Recorded deeds. Stamped and notarized. That can't be right, Mom said, her voice rising. Jennifer has been managing those properties for years. Rose gave them to her. Actually, Mom, Grandma gave them to me. Wiggly. The deeds prove it. Jennifer slammed her hand on the table. This is insane. I've been paying the taxes. I've been collecting the rent. I've been managing everything. You've been collecting rent on properties you don't own, I said calmly. Which is theft. I don't own them. Jennifer's voice was shrill now. I've put 4 years of work into those properties. You've stolen 4 years of rental income from properties that belong to me. I pulled out a second folder, this one physical, and slid it across the table. This is a forensic accounting report compiled by Marcus Webb, CPA. It details every dollar of rent collected from my 8 properties from September 2019 to present. Total rental income, approximately $1.1 million. Legitimate expenses, approximately $340,000 for taxes, insurance, actual maintenance, and property management fees. Gerald opened the folder, his eyes widening as he scanned the pages. That leaves $760,000 in rental income that should have come to me as the legal owner, I continued. Jennifer has been depositing that money into her personal accounts. The report includes bank statements, deposit records, and tenant testimonies. Dad's face had gone white. Jennifer, is this true? No. He's lying. I've been managing those properties. Grandma promised them to me. Grandma transferred them to Maya in 2019, Gerald said quietly, still reading the report. These deeds are unquestionable. Maya Chin has been the legal owner for nearly 5 years. Then why didn't she say anything? Mom demanded. I looked at my mother. Because I wanted to see what Jennifer would do. Grandma suspected Jennifer was stealing from her. She transferred the properties to me to protect them. After Grandma died, I watched as Jennifer continued to collect rent, claim ownership, and pocket money that wasn't hers. You let me, Jennifer stopped herself. Let you what? Let you steal from me? Let you commit fraud? Kept my voice level. I documented everything, Jennifer. Every payment. Every lie. I have 4 years of evidence. This is ridiculous. Jennifer stood up, grabbing her portfolio. I'm not listening to this. Sit down, Jennifer. Dad's voice was cold. Sit down. Jennifer sat, her face red. Dad looked at me. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? I met his eyes. If I'd told you in 2019 that Grandma gave me the properties, would you have believed me over Jennifer? Your golden child? The one who can do no wrong. The silence was answer enough. I turned to Gerald Morrison. I'd like to formally take control of my properties. I'll be terminating Jennifer's unauthorized management immediately. I'd also like to discuss filing criminal charges for fraud and embezzlement. Criminal charges? Mom gasped. Maya, she's your sister. She's a thief. I pulled out another document. This is a letter from 8 current tenants. They're prepared to testify that Jennifer collected their rent payments, often in cash, and never provided proper receipts. Some of them haven't had maintenance issues addressed in years because Jennifer pocketed the money instead of fixing anything. Jennifer's hands were shaking. You can't do this. I can. I am. I looked at Gerald. What are my legal options? Gerald cleared his throat. Miss Chen, Maya, has full legal standing to pursue both civil and criminal action. The evidence in this report is substantial. Embezzlement of this magnitude typically results in felony charges. We're talking about $760,000 in stolen funds over 4 years. No. Jennifer's voice cracked. No, this isn't happening. You called this meeting to steal properties that were never yours, I said. You've been living off stolen rent money for 4 years. You drove a BMW bought with my rental income. You took vacations funded by my properties. And you did it all while telling everyone how hard you worked, how successful you were. Dad buried his face in his hands. Mom stared at Jennifer like she'd never seen her before. Jennifer, Gerald said carefully, I strongly suggest you retain legal counsel. These are serious allegations with substantial evidence. I thought. Jennifer's voice was barely a whisper. I thought Grandma wanted me to have them. She let me manage them for years. I thought. You thought you were entitled to them, I said. But wanting something doesn't make it yours. And managing something doesn't give you the right to steal from it. Jennifer hired a lawyer within 24 hours. 3 days later, her attorney contacted mine with a settlement proposal. Jennifer would return $400,000 immediately and enter a payment plan for the remaining $360,000, in exchange for me not filing criminal charges. I had my attorney respond with a counteroffer. Jennifer returns $760,000 plus interest and legal fees within 90 days, or I file both civil and criminal charges. No payment plan. Full restitution. Her attorney called back within an hour. My client doesn't have $760,000 in liquid assets. Then she can sell her BMW. Liquidate her investment accounts. Borrow from Mom and Dad. Figure it out. I kept my voice steady. She had no problem spending my money. She can find a way to return it. 2 weeks later, Jennifer's lawyer called again. They'd agreed to my terms. Jennifer had liquidated her retirement accounts, sold her car, and borrowed $200,000 from our parents, who were now furious with both of us, but especially with Jennifer for putting them in this position. The money was transferred to my account in full by March 15, 2024. I also formally took over management of the 8 properties. The real property management company, the one Grandma had used, the one that had been sending me accurate financial statements all along, was already in place. Transitioning control took less than a week. The tenants were relieved. We've been trying to get repairs done for years, one told me. Your sister kept saying she'd handle it but never did. That's over now, I assured them. We'll address every maintenance issue within the next 30 days. And we did. Mom called me a month after the settlement. You destroyed your sister's life. I recovered money she stole from me. She's had to move back home. She can't afford her apartment. She's working at a coffee shop, Maya. A coffee shop. After everything she built. She built it with my money, Mom. She's a thief. She's your sister. And I'm your daughter. Did you ever consider that? I kept my voice calm. Did you ever wonder why Grandma gave the properties to me instead of Jennifer? Did you ever ask yourself why Grandma thought I was trustworthy and Jennifer wasn't? Silence on the other end. Grandma saw what you refused to see, I continued. She knew Jennifer was stealing from her. She knew Jennifer only cared about money and status. And she knew I was the one who visited her every week, who listened to her stories, who actually cared about her as a person, not as a source of inheritance. Rose never said anything. Because you wouldn't have believed her. Just like you didn't believe me. I took a breath. Mom, I love you. But I'm done being invisible. I'm done being dismissed. I own 8 properties worth $4.2 million. I earn $22,000 per month in rental income. I have a growing investment portfolio. And I did it all while you and Dad told me I'd never be successful, never own real estate, never measure up to Jennifer. We never said. You said it every time you praised Jennifer and ignored me. Every time you asked when I'd get serious about my future while bragging about Jennifer's success. Every time you suggested I ask her for advice. My voice hardened. Well, here's the truth. Jennifer was successful because she was stealing from me. Her empire was built on fraud. And now she has to face the consequences. Mom hung up. Dad called 3 days later. Your mother is devastated. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? Are you really? His voice was bitter. You could have handled this differently. You didn't have to humiliate Jennifer publicly. You didn't have to demand full restitution. You could have worked something out quietly. Like Jennifer worked things out quietly when she stole $760,000 from me? That's different. How? How is it different, Dad? He couldn't answer. I handled it exactly as it needed to be handled, I said. Jennifer committed fraud. She embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars. She built a fake life on stolen money. The only reason she's not in prison right now is because I chose mercy over justice. Mercy? Dad laughed harshly. You call forcing her to liquidate everything mercy? Yes. I call not pressing criminal charges mercy. I call accepting restitution instead of a trial mercy. I call letting her walk away with her freedom mercy. I paused. Did you know that embezzlement of this amount typically carries a sentence of 5 to 10 years in prison? Did you know Jennifer could have been arrested at that conference table? I had the evidence. I had the standing. I chose not to. You're just like... Don't. My voice cut through whatever he was about to say. Don't compare me to anyone. Don't tell me I'm vindictive or cruel or anything else. I protected myself. I recovered what was mine. And I did it by the book with attorneys and accountants and legal documentation. Jennifer is the one who chose to steal. She made that choice every single day for 4 years. Dad was quiet for a long moment. You've changed. No, Dad. I just stopped hiding. There's a difference. I'm sitting in my new condo overlooking Tampa Bay, coffee in hand watching the sunrise. The properties are running smoothly. The tenants are happy. The rental income is deposited directly into my account every month, exactly as it should be. Jennifer got a job as an assistant property manager at a real estate firm. Ironic considering. We don't speak. Mom and Dad send awkward text messages occasionally, usually around holidays, but the relationship is strained at best. I'm okay with that. Last week I closed on a 9th property, a beautiful duplex in downtown St. Petersburg. I paid cash. The rental income will push my monthly total to $25,000. My investment portfolio has grown to just over $800,000. By the time I'm 40, I'll be a millionaire through investments alone, not even counting the property values. I think about Grandma Rose sometimes. About how she saw through the family dynamics, how she protected me, how she knew exactly what Jennifer was capable of. She gave me more than properties, she gave me validation. She gave me proof that I wasn't crazy, wasn't oversensitive, wasn't imagining the dismissiveness and the favoritism. She saw me. Really saw me. And she made sure I'd be taken care of no matter what my parents believed about my potential. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Marcus Webb, my forensic accountant. Quarterly report ready. Your portfolio is up 12% this year. Very nice work. I smile and text back, thanks for everything. Another text comes through, this one from the property management company. All 8 properties fully leased. 0 vacancies. Excellent month. I screenshot both messages and save them in a folder labeled, Success. Not to brag. Not to show anyone. Just to remind myself on hard days that I built something real. Something honest. Something that can't be taken away. Because here's what I learned. Real success isn't loud. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't require validation from people who never believed in you in the first place. Real success is quiet. Protected. And it's mine. My sister once said I'd never own real estate like hers. She was right. I don't own real estate like hers. I own the real estate she thought was hers. And that makes all the difference.